East African Breweries has set out to maximize its operations in neighboring countries of Uganda and Tanzania to mitigate against further foreign losses. This comes as the brewer announced a 2.3 billion loss due to pressure in the FX market, forcing them to cut down their shareholder benefits to 1 shilling per ordinary share for the first half of the year. EABL also noted that high inflation, a weakening shilling, as well as rising cost of doing business, which has shot up in the last 6 months owing to excise increase on glass and sugar, might be a contributing factor. Jimmy Mbogo with more.
Of the depreciation of the Kenyan currency is taking a toll on local manufacturers who rely on importation of raw materials. One such manufacturer is the East Africa Breweries Limited, which now says that the currency depreciation in Kenya has forced them to look for ways to maximize their operations in markets outside Kenya, increasing their exports and looking for ways to maximize their operations in markets with foreign currencies that are holding better than Kenya.
We are growing a lot faster in the markets outside of Kenya. So whether it's from an exports perspective or from the markets outside Kenya, their growth is helping us. One, because our currency is now weaker against them, but also as they grow, then you're able to mitigate the risks in one territory compared to another. So we're pushing growth in export, we're pushing growth where we're getting revenues in foreign currency and where the environment is still not as bearish as we currently are experiencing.
Kenya really suffering, whether it's a pound or whether it's a dollar. We are suffering both at the COGS level, cost of goods, because we have some dollar-pound denominated costs or inputs, and then also as we report to our statutory. So I'll leave you guys to deep dive on that one. And obviously, Tanzania and Uganda are doing better than us from a currency perspective.
Despite increasing their volume, the brewer has expressed concerns over the consumer's wallet, noting that they have opted for lower value and discounted products in the wake of harsh microeconomic environment, which has forced them to reprioritize their expenditure, contracting the expenditure of alcohol by 200 basis points in the half year.
I think the biggest threat to the business is the consumer affordability piece in terms of the wallet contracting. And then the other one is just the cost of doing business. You remember I talked about, we've seen electricity go up, we've seen the fuel costs going up. So from a Kenyan and across East Africa perspective, cost of doing business is going up. But more importantly, I think the interest costs and forex costs are stressing the bottom line much more.
In the concluded half year, EABL recorded a 2.3 billion shillings loss in foreign exchange pressures owing to the shilling's depreciation. The brewer also saw a 22% decline in profit after tax to stand at 6.8 billion shillings, down from 8.7 billion the previous year. At the same time, the cost of sales increased by 21% on the back of high inflation that saw input costs soar, while actual sales increased by 16% to stand at 66.5 billion shillings, up from 57.3 billion the previous year. In the same half, the brewer registered an 18% growth in beer sales, with spirit sales slowing down to only grow at 13% on the back of higher excise tax and input cost. To remain ahead of the curve, EABL now says that this microbrewer will continue to serve as the innovation hub as they seek to address the customers' needs. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.